All right, let's dive into the playoffs. The Pittsburgh Steelers have been watching from the couch, but we have all been mesmerized by one guy. I'd say a couple guys, but really, like at this point in the playoffs, the person that I continue to text everybody about, especially my dad, I'm a big, this guy is probably the best player in football. Joe Burrow, in my opinion. The dude's been on a run, made the Buffalo Bills look kind of easy yesterday, which is crazy. Now goes to face the Chiefs, a team that he's beaten every single time so far. When you look at Joe Burrow and what the Bills or the Bengals have done collectively in this playoff, do you look at him as possibly the best quarterback in football, or at least right on that line with guys like Patrick Mahomes?
Well, he's certainly in that conversation. To do what he did on the road in all that snow against such a good team, such a talented team and a good defense, that was incredibly impressive. I was talking to friends about it, and it wasn't like he was just hitting on a couple, 60-yard bombs
Yep.
to Jamar Chase or T. Higgins. This was kind of surgical. It was every play was 10, 12. Every pass he threw was on the money for 10 or 12 yards. He was finding every hole, just making good reads and all of that stuff. It was a pretty thorough beat down of them. A pretty thorough like dismantling of the Bills defense, which has been really good all season. So I'm still a little I'm differential to Patrick Mahomes if you're talking about who's actually the best quarterback in the NFL. I feel like until it's going to take a lot to kind of dethrone him, and that guy's just won too much and done too much crazy stuff. He has had the advantage of playing with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and under
Andy
Andy
Reid.
Reid
Yeah.
for so long, but I don't know. The results are the results, and I watch it every day on the field or every week on the field. Mahomes is as important to that offense as anyone else is to any other offense in football. You can't just Andy Reid and his receivers certainly helped him, but especially this year when there's been kind of a step back, quite honestly, in terms of Kansas City's receiver talent. Like
Yeah.
it remains very impressive to me. That's not a slight against Joe Burrow. That's just I think a testament to how good Patrick Mahomes is.
No, I agree. I think those two are the top of my list right now. But I think that after yesterday or after the playoff game, I've removed Josh Allen from that conversation. Like I look at Joe Burrow as a significant I'm going to stick with the word significant. A significant step ahead of Josh Allen. I think just in terms of winning ability. Like Josh Allen is a freak. Like he is a gift from God to the football world. He shouldn't exist. Nobody should be that big, that powerful, have that arm strength, have the ability to run, be that good of a class act human being, represent a city like Buffalo. Like he just does it all. But I don't think he wins like Joe Burrow wins. Like Joe Burrow's got that thing in him where, cool Joey B, that's a thing. That's a real thing. When Joe Burrow steps into high pressure situations, you got to bet your money that he's going to come out with a win. And I just don't feel the same way about Josh Allen right now. I do feel the same way about Patrick Mahomes, but I would say it's those two, and then it's the next tier of quarterbacks, which might be Josh Allen alone, but I would still say that he's above Josh Allen.
Yeah, the results are hard to argue with. One's made it to Super Bowl.
Yeah.
One and Josh Allen is still trying to get there. And yeah, there's talent level. I don't think there's much of a difference, but you're right. When Joe Burrow steps into a big game, that like it's at a certain point, it did seem kind of overwrought, especially after he lost that Super Bowl. I don't know. That wasn't his finest hour, but
yeah,
every other time you've watched him step into a pressure, you don't judge him off of one game. Every time he steps into a pressure environment, a big game, he plays really well. It's something that I think is learned in a lot of people, but Joe Burrow seemed to have it naturally.
Yeah.
These moments have never been too big for him. Back from when he was in college and through his first few years in the NFL, like this is just part of his DNA. And certain guys have that right away, and other guys have to learn it and have to kind of go there and lose a little bit and make some mistakes before they actually become that good again. I think Josh Allen's probably in that stage right now.
Breaking news. Manscaped now sells beard products. That's right. They are once again revolutionizing men's grooming with the brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. From a beard trim to a fresh shave, This technology behind the Beard Hedger Pro Kit allows you to shape your signature beard and look. Now you can finally use Manscaped products to make sure your drapes match the carpet by going to manscaped.com and using Steelers20 for 20% off and free shipping. It's time to tame your mane. No one likes a weird beard, so say goodbye to all your stubble with Manscaped's Pro Beard Kit. It all starts with the Beard Hedger. This thing is a juggernaut of fixing faces. First off, this cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting lengths, all with one guard. So no more messy drawers full of extra add-ons. That's right. Face grooming doesn't need to be hard. Get 20 different beard lengths in just one guard. It's also waterproof, so you can shave in the shower to avoid all that hair in the sink. The titanium coated T-blade is tough on hair but smooth on your face, leading to single stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. The Pro Kit doesn't even end there, though. They have created 4 dermatologist tested formulas for your post trim care. First, there is the beard shampoo and conditioner. You need to remember all your hair is different. Your beard hair is more coarse and easier to damage than the hair on your head. That's why the kit has made shampoo and conditioner specially designed to moisturize, reduce ingrown hairs, replace natural oils, and promote beard health. Next, the kit has Manscaped's beard oil, an essential piece to your main facial accessory. No one wants a guy whose beard is brittle and dry. The oil relieves dryness both on the beard and the skin beneath while adding a little shimmer and shine, making you look extra fine. Cap off the kit with the Beard Balm, a pomade that shapes, styles, moisturizes, and tames for a sculpted look to attract any fellows or dames. The Pro Beard Kit also comes with three free gifts: a beard brush, a comb, and scissors to ensure your beard is ready to impress. So get 20% off and free shipping with our code Steelers20 at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. And all you have to do is use our code Steelers20. Manscaped, beard hedger, one stroke, one guard, 20 lengths. Yeah, I would agree with that one. Like, if you were to say, like, do you think Josh Allen would ever win a Super Bowl? The answer is easily yes. Like, I think that the Bills are just one phenomenal team. People are like, oh, well, they're at the end of their ride. And people said that about the Bills or about the Bengals. People said that about the Chiefs. That's just not true. It just doesn't. When you have a team that good that has a quarterback that good, you could win. Like, you could find ways to win at all times. I agree with that. Do you follow the notion that Kenny Pickett gives you Joe Burrow vibes? Because I see a lot of people on Twitter, and I did my to-go about this today, about how they're very different quarterbacks. Like, Joe Burrow is just a natural quarterback. You could tell. There was never any questions about his arm strength. There was never any questions about his physical abilities. With Kenny Pickett, there's all these questions. When it comes to the ice in the veins, this guy would fight anybody on the field, no matter if he's 210 pounds or 260 pounds. And when high pressure moments are on, he wants the ball in his hands and he performs well in those moments. Do you follow that?
I see the comparison. I understand it. I don't know.
It's okay.
I don't think that Kenny's quite on the same level yet, which is understandable. Like, Kenny's, a couple years behind where Joe was. But I think they're both competitors, and I think they both want to be in those moments and want to perform in those moments. I don't think Kenny's quite as talented, and I don't think Kenny does the things that Joe Burrow can do off script. Like, Kenny can run, I think, better than Joe can, but Joe has the ability to keep a pass play alive in a way that I don't think Kenny does, and I think that helps him more in those pressure environments when he's facing a good defense and is facing a lot of pressure. I understand the comparison, and I see it in terms of how they can kind of keep their cool in big spots, but no, Kenny's got a long way to go before I think he's he's kind of. I mean, like he's off to a good start. I mean, like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't mean
yeah.
to say that like Kenny like shies away from those moments, but it takes a lot to kind of perform or to be at that level that Joe Burrow's at right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think that if anything, and this was my point this morning, was he's headed in that direction. You know, he's not there. It's you cannot compare Kenny Pickett to Joe Burrow right now and say, "Oh, well, you know, Kenny Pickett's the next Joe Burrow." No, we don't even know what Joe Burrow is.
Right.
We have seen a small sample size of how good Joe Burrow can be. The dude's what, 26 years old? He's 3
Mhm.
years into the NFL. He's already been to a Super Bowl. He could be on his way to his second one. Like we have no idea who Joe Burrow's peak is. But if Kenny Pickett, you know, has a strong year 2, and people got to remember, like, you know, Joe Burrow went 2-7 as a rookie before he tore his ACL. Like things weren't
Mhm.
looking real good for the Bengals. He
Right.
came back in year 2. That team made some adjustments and they were Super Bowl bound. And I think that the Steelers could easily take that year 2 jump. I don't know if they're going to be Super Bowl bound, but I think that the Steelers could find themselves in the postseason next year, could be a team that's really on the rise, that is a little sneaky dangerous like the Bengals were last season, where people kind of overlooked them. And I think that Kenny Pickett like leads the way in that. They have the defense. I think what Kenny's shown is that there isn't a moment too big for him. Where I'm not saying he's going to win all those moments, but he's going to face all of them and he's going to look at all that adversity and just say, yeah, whatever, man. Like, put the ball in my hands. Let's see what happens. And I think that's huge. Whereas, and you don't get that with a lot of quarterbacks. Dak showed that yesterday. Like he's
Yeah.
not that guy. Um,
Yeah.
and I'd rather Kenny be on the pace to be, let's get him in those situations than, man, if we don't win this game, you know, we're not going to win because we don't have that guy to win. I think that's where Kenny falls into that comparison.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's definitely something to knowing that with if you're within strike, you don't have to, start so fast. It's not as imperative to hold a lead early and to make sure you can sustain that through the idea that you could come back if you need it, that you have a
Yep.
quarterback who has that kind of experience and has proven that kind of ability that he can, in big moments when his team needs him, he can make those plays because quarterback has the ball in his hands more often than anyone. You need to have someone who embraces those moments when the game's on the line, and I think Kenny does fall into that category. It's a little subjective, like you said. Dak clearly that was pretty easy to see that he just
Yeah.
didn't
And it's,
have it.
yeah. And
Uh,
it's always like that. Like Dak's never been in a moment where you're like, Dak could win this game. Like
right,
throughout his entire career, you felt like, the moment might be too big for him.
right. You never felt threatened with Dak.
Yeah.
If Dak had the ball down 7 with 2 minutes left or something, you
Yeah. Like
never
you're
felt
feeling
like
good about that.
right.
Yeah.
Um,
If you're the
y-
opponent.
yes, and you don't. I don't think I would feel that same way if Kenny had the ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. And I think that's really all you're looking for right now. You know, like you're looking for a guy if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers and that's what they showed. And I think that's step one is if you're going to compete against guys like Joe Burrow, you're going to compete against guys like Josh Allen, like Patrick Mahomes, like Lamar Jackson, you know, for like Trevor Lawrence for the next 10 years, 15 years. You want a guy that, okay, well, look the games are most likely going to be close if we're going to win them. We're not blowing out Patrick Mahomes. That just doesn't happen. So if we get the ball with 2 minutes left, can we go win this? And I think the Steelers' answer is yes right now, which,
mm,
yeah, certainly feels good. Definitely
well,
feels good.
yeah, and look, this is Kenny. This is not Justin Fields. This is not a guy who
Mm-hmm.
came out of college with particularly notable physical tools. So those
Yeah.
intangibles are more important than I think anything.
Yeah. 100%.